Okay, so today we are moving into the counterclaim. So what I want you to do is go to our modules for this week, scroll down to Thursday, and click on the agenda for 316. So once this video is recorded, it will be posted, so I want you to watch all of it before doing any of the following directions. So for today, if you are still working on body paragraphs 1 and 2, I want you to go back to yesterday's module and rewatch yesterday's video to get the information on body paragraphs 1 and 2. Today, we're going to talk about the counterclaim. So in an argumentative writing, like we've talked about before, body paragraph 3 addresses the other side's argument, or is our counterclaim. So if I go and take a look at my example, I read my directions over to the side. So make sure you look through all of these because this is what I'm going to be grading you on. So if you don't have these things for body paragraphs 1 and 2, go back and add them. When you're doing body paragraph 3, make sure you're paying attention to what it says over here. So for my counterclaim, I need to oppose the claim of my argument. So if I go back a couple of days, my argument is that students should not wear school uniforms. So my counterclaim needs to address the other side's argument that students should wear school uniforms. So I begin with a transition to signal that I'm talking about the other side. So over here, I have my favorite, and it's an easy one that I think you all should use, is some may say. So I have some may say that school uniforms reduce bullying among students. So this is the other side's argument. Okay, I have my counterclaim. Check it off. I have my transition, and it addresses the other side. I'm good to move on to reason 3. Now you have to go back to your own reason. So why the other side is wrong is what you're proving in reason 3. So make sure that you have a transition to signal you're going back to your reason. Remember, this is our turn back. So if I look over here, there's some examples down here. However, although, on the other hand, I chose although school uniforms increase instances of bullying more often than not. So this is going back to support my argument that students should not wear school uniforms to school. Then the rest is what we've done already. So I go back into my notes page and I need to cite my evidence with a citation that proves that. So I can go in from my notes and I can pull that the article, School Uniforms Pros and Cons, found that physical altercations doubled within a year of mandating school uniforms, procon.org. So I have my transition, the article, School Uniforms Pros and Cons. I have my paraphrased cited evidence, and I have my procon.org. Now I'm just now realizing that I forgot to write an explanation. That's why you always go back and check your work. So if we switch over to my text box, I now need to explain my reasoning. So when you explain your reasoning, you need to take what is being cited and essentially put it in your own words and elaborate even further. So now I can say that text proves that teenagers who wear school uniforms get into more fights at school than teenagers who can wear whatever they like to school. All right, so where it says begin with a transition, my transition would be that the text proves, so it's referencing my cited evidence, and then it explains further what my evidence is trying to say. So I'm further proving the point that teenagers should not wear school uniforms because it supports fighting at school. And then at the very end is to summarize your ideas, begin with a transition. So I have therefore, school uniforms do not decrease bullying. Okay, so the paragraph 3, the counterclaim, always starts off with you addressing the other side's argument, but then you want to make sure that you're going back to your third reason to prove why your reason is correct. So once you did this, you can go ahead and take a look. If you handed in your body paragraphs 1 and 2, I gave you feedback on them. I would recommend looking at the feedback that I gave you and making those changes. Once you've done that, hand this in to me. That way I can take a look at it over tonight, and then tomorrow we can do our introduction and our conclusion and be done from there. So remember, if you are ever stuck on anything, come back to this video, Go back into the modules. Every other module has all the other videos that we've done so far. So if you're feeling stuck, go back and look at those. After that, if you're still feeling stuck, raise your hand and ask for help from me and Mrs. Forbes.